I think everyone wonders what it's like to have unlimited power at their fingertips. Well, if you play as the Warlock Stormcaller subclass, you can stop wondering and get a feel for yourself. Destiny 2 is an easy game to pick up and play, but it has a lot of systems in place that a new player might not understand and a veteran might gloss over. In today's video, we're going to overview the Warlock's Stormcaller subclass and talk about how it interacts with exotic armor pieces and Armor 2.0 so you can make better use of your unlimited power. Let's get started. Like with all subclasses in Destiny 2, there are 3 branches to the Stormcaller. The top branch, Attunement of Conduction, the bottom branch, Attunement of Elements, and the middle branch, Attunement of Control. We're going to break them down first, then talk about subclass-specific exotics, mods, and the stats you should look for on your armor. The Attunement of Conduction is an offensive branch that focuses on dealing area damage and hastening ability regeneration. Your melee ability is Chain Lightning. This melee attack hits at extended range and chains lightning to nearby enemies. Next, we have the most important ability in the branch, the passive Arc Web. This causes grenades to chain lightning to nearby enemies when hit. Each chain from your grenade or your melee reduces the cooldown of your grenade. Well-placed abilities with this branch can almost completely reset your grenade. The final 2 abilities in the branch augment Storm Trance, the Stormcaller Super. Transcendence is a passive that increases the duration of Storm Trance if your grenade and melee are fully charged when activated. The total duration of Storm Trance is 13 seconds without Transcendence and about 17 seconds with Transcendence. Finally, Ionic Blink allows you to teleport a short distance while in Storm Trance at the cost of some of your Storm Trance duration. Since the Attunement of Conduction is heavily reliant on grenade usage to make use of its passive abilities, the stat you want to prioritize on your armor is Discipline to reduce your grenade cooldown. The best exotic armor for this branch is the Crown of Tempests. Arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and super, and this buff can be stacked 3 times. Conduction Times also extends the duration of Storm Trance. For mods, you can look for a solar class item so you can slot Ashes to assets, which grants bonus super energy on grenade kills, and Innervation for grenade cooldown reduction when you pick up an Orb of Light. Also, be on the lookout for Arc Gloves so you can slot Impact Induction. Melee hits reduce the cooldown of your grenade. On your weapons, you can also look for the Demolitionist trait. Kills with a Demolitionist weapon reduce the cooldown of your grenade, and throwing your grenade reloads the gun. I think you can see a pattern here. Look for stuff that reduces the cooldown of your grenades. The Attunement of Elements is a more support-oriented version of the Stormcaller, but it still packs a punch. Its melee ability is Rising Storm. It hits at extended range, and on hit, it reduces the cooldown of your melee, grenade, and grants some super energy. In place of Arc Web, you have Electrostatic Surge. Your rift duration is increased, and it charges slightly faster when near allies. We also have the passive ability Arc Soul. Your rifts now grant you and your allies an Arc Soul when they step into it. The Arc Soul lasts for 13 seconds and will fire at enemies in your field of view automatically while active. The last ability for the Attunement of Elements is Landfall. When you activate Storm Trance, you send out a shockwave below yourself that deals damage to all nearby enemies. The supporting nature of the Attunement of Elements is attached to your class ability, and its cooldown can't be reduced by armor stats, but it can be reduced with Paragon mods. With 5 Paragon mods, your Rift cooldown is about 35 seconds, while its base cooldown with no mods equipped is about 83 seconds. With that in mind, if you want to support your team but still like to dish out good damage, the Getaway Artist Exotic Gloves are a great choice. Its exotic trait allows you to consume your grenade to activate a Sentient Arc Soul that lasts for 20 seconds. Both the Sentient Arc Soul and the Arc Souls created by your Rift fire 5 projectiles instead of the usual 3. Arc Soul hits also reduce the cooldown of your grenade slightly. Additionally, stepping into your Rift while Sentient Arc Soul is active will reset its duration back to the full 20 seconds. The Attunement of the Elements and its Arc Souls are a great way to add passive damage output to you and all of your fire team members. If you're slotting enough Paragon mods, your Rift uptime will be incredible, and a fire team of 3 will feel more like a fire team of 6 because of the Arc Buddies. Last but certainly not least, we have the Attunement of Control. Unlike the other 2 branches, the Attunement of Control uses the Super Chaos Reach. It fires a powerful beam of arc energy that damages enemies and causes them to explode on death. Chaos Reach can be cancelled early, and doing so will refund some super energy. Its melee ability is Ball Lightning. On activation, it sends out a ball of lightning that will damage the first enemy it hits. If it's fired above an enemy, it will rain down lightning near that enemy's location in a cone. I think it goes without saying that this melee ability hits at extended range. We also have the passive ability Ionic Trace. Defeating enemies has a chance to create an Ionic Trace that when collected will restore energy to all your abilities, including your super. Ionic Traces drop from enemies consistently enough that even if you aren't spec'd into Discipline or Strength, you'll find your grenade and melee ability available often. Lastly, Pulse Wave is another passive. When you're critically wounded, it sends out a pulse that grants you and all nearby allies increased reload speed and movement speed. The Attunement of Control doesn't have any fancy ability augments like Arc Soul or Arc Web, but its super is incredibly potent and unique, and that's probably why the exotic boots the Geomag Stabilizers augmented. The Geomag Stabilizer's exotic trait is close enough. When your Chaos Reach super is nearly full, sprinting will significantly increase its regeneration rate until it's full. Additionally, damaging enemies with Chaos Reach extends its duration. With the Geomag Stabilizers equipped, you should prioritize intelligence on your armor so you can reach the close enough point as quickly as possible. For the rest of your slots, use super energy generating mods like Dynamo, Ashes to Assets, Hands-On, Remote Connection, Light Reactor, and Pump Action. The mods you use will depend on how you've kitted your character. And there we go, that's going to do it for the overview of the Stormcaller. There was a lot of information packed into this pretty short time frame, but hopefully it was easily digestible. With that said, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more content with the Stormcaller, like different builds and different ways to engage with the subclass, let me know. Also, if you'd like to see other overviews for the different subclasses in Destiny, let me know that as well. One last thing before we close out, I want to give a shout out to Joseph Wost for posting my video on the Destiny the Game Reddit. That is very kind of you, but also I want to give a shout out to all of my patrons. Aljano, Alex, Alfred, Avi, David, Evipen, Gabriel, Glenn, Jason, Jay, Joseph, Caliph, Khalid, Kunaka, Miniflame, Musa, Papa Nurse, Ronaldo, Roland, Soul, Slen, the Macman, William, and Ziona. Thank you very much for your patronage. You guys are freaking awesome, and I appreciate the support tremendously. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support the channel more than you already do just by watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting, you can head over to patreon.com/iBluairJgR to become a patron. As always, the name of the game is Destiny 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.